I'm following this non-existent old mining road that you see here in front of me. It passes just to the right of that Joshua tree up there. You really can't tell it's a road anymore. It probably hasn't been used. I think they closed this road to public access about 50 or 60 years ago. And I just came from behind me. And again, you can tell that that's not a road. It's totally disappeared. After so many decades of non-use, the roads kind of just disappear back into the landscape as they get overgrown. So I'm about halfway up here to an abandoned mine that this road went to at one time, a long time ago. It's up this ravine and I'm gonna check it out. Not sure what's there, but the road did go right to it. So let's keep moving and let's go check it out. Okay, still making my way up this old non-existent road. See that big rock over there near the bottom of the hillside? When I started this hike, I could see that. I was about a mile away. And I thought that was a cabin built into the hillside. That light portion on top kind of resembled a roof, and then the darker portion underneath that I thought were the walls of a structure, a cabin, but it's not. Now that I'm here, it's just a big boulder that must have fallen down the hillside. But anyway, we're still headed up the ravine. So all these Joshua trees, you're probably wondering, where'd that name come from, Frank? Did some guy named Joshua name the trees after himself or what? Well, I once read that these trees were named that because somebody thought back in the day that they resembled Joshua in the Bible, who I think was a prophet or whatever they call those people. And they thought it resembled Joshua standing with his arms, both arms raised upward towards heaven. So that's how they got the name Joshua trees. And didn't the rock band U2 once have an album cover that had a Joshua tree on it? A real famous cover. I once read that someone was able to locate that exact tree that was photographed for that album. It was a big one, an old one. And then I think its location was known, but I remember reading maybe 10 years ago or something, or 20 years ago, that tree finally died. It either fell over or got too old and just died of some disease. But they were kind of sad about that because it was such an iconic Joshua tree used on the U2 album cover. But look at that big boulder there. Let's go check that out. So yeah, this big boulder, look at this. How did that get here in the middle of this flat area? Must have come from way up there. I mean, really, how'd that get here? And it looks like it's fractured, like a zigzag fracture. So either, yeah, you wonder what the history is on that, how that came to be fractured like it is, see that? And how it got here in the first place when there's nothing else like it around it except for way over there. Wonder if that's volcanic rock. I don't know. Sort of resembles that. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Wish I knew more about geology than I do. But here's the other side where we started. Well, I believe the mine we're headed to is somewhere right up there. I don't think it's behind that ridge. It's somewhere right up in there. But we'll keep going. I'm taking a break here. It's getting pretty rugged up through here. Getting into some mountain ranges here, some mountains. But fortunately the sun is behind a big cloud right now, so it makes it a lot easier to hike out here in the desert. It's hot enough as it is, but when that sun is bearing down, boy, it really makes hiking out here tough. So you can see the big clouds that are moving in. It's nice to have the shade. It really does make a big difference when hiking out here. It's probably about 90 degrees out here, but the sun makes it feel a lot hotter. And just came from, you can sort of see the road right there that I came up on. Some parts of the road are still visible, like right there, but other parts are totally gone. So tricky in some spots to keep on track. But let's keep going. that way. So did you hear the joke about the miner that drank a bunch of food coloring? Yeah, he died. Get it? Anyway, anything to make these brutal hikes a little less intolerable. Sometimes it's fun to go cross country like this. Yeah, it's a little more difficult, a little more strenuous, but I don't know, get you closer to all this stuff, you know, the rocks, the plants, the lizards, the mice that I've been seeing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, I made it back to the road right here. See it coming up there? It wraps around and goes down to that wash. But I got off the road and kind of came up and scaled this hillside, you see, that runs parallel with the wash. Going back, I'll definitely go down the road. Be a lot easier than coming up through all of this. But, so, yeah, there's a shot of the road. I'm back on it. So it comes up here, kind of at a high point here, and wraps around. There should be an adit. Like I said, I have no idea what's up here. So let's check it out. Should be right up here. I bet it was right here where these rocks are in front of me. I just checked my topo map with GPS. No, that's not the adit, although that looks like a place where they would have put an adit in an outcropping like that. No, it's about another 200 feet up here. Says the road goes right to it on the topo map, you know, but this must have been the road. Came up right there and then continues this way. So it's a little further up here, I guess. So I'm going to keep trekking up here and check it out. So here's the clue, we're getting close. There's a pipe. And you can see the road here, what's left of it. So we're almost there, but yeah, that pipe's a good sign. So let's keep on going. Another good sign, some timbering. But the question is, will the mine be open? We're almost there. Here are some old tires up here. That says Atlas. Do they still make Atlas tires? I don't think so. I'll have to look that brand up. But look how that one's come apart. More timbering. And I believe the entrance is right there. Hear that thunder? There's the entrance, I believe. Let's go check it out. Wow, here are some pretty big timbers. I wonder if that was part of the head frame. The topo map indicates an adit, not a shaft. So here's the adit, but it looks like it's been caved in. Let me get a closer look at that. So what they did is they put these boards here. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't think originally these would have been here like this. And then it's kind of like filled in. There's no way to get inside. Like I said, the topo maps indicated an adit, a horizontal entrance. But this looks like it might have went down, but I don't know. Don't think it's a vertical shaft, but these timbers are puzzling why they're angled like this. That's how they decided to close it up. Well, unfortunately, it's a no-go on that one. Probably wasn't a very big mine. I mean, there are some pretty big timbers here, but I don't see a lot of waste rock out here. Yeah, these right here, like I mentioned earlier, are pretty big. I wonder if that was a vertical shaft instead of an adit, like the topo map says, and these are part of the, this was part of the head frame. I don't know. But yeah, they sealed that up. Never really saw a mine sealed like that one is. They kind of repurposed the timbering and then just made basically a timber wall and shoved it down in there and braced it. And that was that. And that was probably done decades ago. But looks like this was a muck plate. That's pretty much it.